Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to change subject setting using AI tool in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into using contextual taskbar by selecting subject, inverting of selection, expanding of selection, using generative fill, merging of layers, and using harmonization under neural filters. So let's get started. So here in our document, I prepare here this image of this woman into the woods. And our goal here is to change the place or the setting. So the first step we're going to do here is we're going to create a selection on the subject. To do that, we're going to make use of the contextual taskbar. So the contextual taskbar is located here. But if you can't locate that, you can go to the menu bar, go to window, then choose on contextual taskbar. It must be tick. All right, there you go. So now let's create a selection instantly by going onto the contextual taskbar and click on select subject. Once I click that, Photoshop AI automatically create a selection around it. See? Now, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to create a layer of the subject itself. So with this selection, and with that background layer selected on the layers panel, press Ctrl plus J. There you go. Now let's name this layer as the subject. Alright, now temporarily, let's hide this subject layer. So I'm just going to click this something like I bottom like. Okay, just click on this icon. So it's already hidden. Now the next step here is that we're going to bring back the selection on the subject by pressing Control and click on the thumbnail of the subject layer. There you go. The selection is already back. Now, let's invert the selection. Go to the contextual taskbar, then click on this icon. This is to invert selection. There you go. Now, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to expand selection. So going on to the layers panel, make sure that you're selected on the background layer. Make sure that's active. Then go to the menu bar, go to select, then choose on modify, then expand. All right, so this expand selection window will appear. So I'm going to expand it by 5 pixels. Then click on OK. All right, so you will notice here that the selection is already expanded on the edges of our subject. There are. So let's zoom this one out. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Well, moving back, the next step we're going to do here is that we're going to use the generative fill. So with this selection background, go to the contextual taskbar, click on generative fill. Now, for the prompt, just type down the kind of setting or place where you want the subject will be. All right, so let's say I want to type it down here, jungle. Then click on generate. All right, so once done generating, now this is the outcome. This is the first variation, and you can just go to the properties panel and check on the other variation. So this one looks fine on the first variation. Here's the second one. Yes, I also want it. And here's the third one. All right, so in my case, I'll be choosing on the first variation. It's this. Now, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to rasterize the generative layer. All right, so actually the generative layer, it's this jungle layer. As you have noticed here, this is a generative layer when you see this symbol around the thumbnail. Okay, so to rasterize this layer, just right click on it, then choose on rasterize layer. There you go. Now, because we already rasterized the layer, now we may now start creating a selection around the subject on this jungle layer. So with that layer selected, go to the contextual taskbar and click on select subject once again. Well, my goal here is to remove the subject on this jungle layer for the reason that the edges of this subject on this jungle layer doesn't seem well to me. Now, with this selection, let's remove the subject on this jungle layer. Click on generative fill. I won't add any prompt to it. Just click on generate instantly. There you go. All right, so here's the first variation. Wow, he created this little man on this image. All right, so let's go to the other variations where the subject is no longer there. All right, so here's the second variation. Okay, well, this looks fine to me. I'll go with this. All right. Now, the next step we're going to do here is that we're going to merge the generative fill layer and also the jungle layer. So click on this layer, press Control, hold it, and also click on the jungle layer. Now, they are both selected now. Now, right click on it and then choose on merge layers. All right. Now, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to bring back the subject layer. All right, so just click on this. There you are. But you will notice here that it doesn't seem realistic yet for the reason that there's no shadow on the ground and the color is not that blended well. Okay, so to fix that, with this subject layer selected, go to the menu bar, go to filters, then choose on neural filters. Then, under the neural filters panel, I'm going to click on harmonization. So let's just switch this on by clicking on this toggle switch. There you are. Okay, then under the harmonization, from the reference image, it says here select a layer. Just click on this arrow down, then choose on the generative fill layer. All right, just click that. All right, and once I click that, it will blend on our subject. There we go. Once you're good with it, just click OK. All right. So there's a selection around it. So just press Ctrl plus D to deselect that. Now we're going to fix on the shadows on the ground. So to do that, click on the generative fill layer, go to the toolbar and get on the lasso tool. Okay. Now let's create a selection on the ground. Something like this. There you go. And then go to the layers panel. Make sure that there aren't layers selected. Then go to the contextual taskbar. Then click on generative fill. For the prompt, no need to put the prompt because we just have to blend the subject from the background. So just click on generate. All right, there you go. So here's the first variation. Let's go to the properties panel and check on the other variations. So here's the second one, and here's the third one. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem realistic. So I'm gonna click on generate again on the properties panel. So just click it again to give more variations. All right, so here are the other variations. Here's the next one. All right, and this. Okay, so I'll be going on this variation. There are. Now this one creates a natural effect on the ground. Okay, now the next step here is that we're going to click on the generative layer on top and also the subject. Press Control and click on the subject layer. Right click on it and then merge layers. There you go. Okay, and that's how it goes. Now that looks realistic. Now let me show you the before and after. This one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to change subject setting using AI tool in Photoshop.